Good afternoon, everybody. Let us start with the invocation. As we gather here today as members of the Texas Tech University Health Sciences Center El Paso Graduate School of Biomedical Sciences, we pray that we are ever mindful of opportunities to render our service to fellow citizens and to our community, keeping in mind always the enduring values of life, exerting our efforts in those areas and on those things upon which future generations can build with confidence. Let us continue to strive to make a better world. Amen. Thank you. Good afternoon again. It is my great pleasure to welcome you all, the distinguished guests, faculty colleagues, families, and friends to the Texas Tech University Health Sciences Center, El Paso Graduate School of Biomedical Sciences, Class of 2020 Commencement Ceremony. To begin with, congratulations, graduates. Dear students, you and the faculty members of the graduate school know how hard you had to work to get to this stage. Many of you had a full-time or a part-time job during the school, and you still had to accomplish a great deal, meet the rigor and expectations of the program to arrive at this finish line. But just keep in mind, this is just the starting line of your professional careers. Even in these difficult times we are in right now, this is a great day to rejoice and celebrate your accomplishments. I know this is a big day for you all, and I know you will enjoy and remember it more than any other graduation. At the outset, it is also important to stress that these accomplishments of our graduates would not have been possible without the strong support of their parents, grandparents, uncles, aunts, brothers, sisters, friends, partners, and other loved ones who believed in them and inspired them throughout this journey. So, I want to congratulate all of you for all your support in these students, and it is essential for them to achieve their goals. So it is your moment as well to enjoy and remember. I share your pride in the accomplishments of our graduating students and your joy at the opportunities that lie ahead for them. At the same time, I want you all to know that our graduating students really appreciate all that you have done for them and continue to do for them. I'm happy and proud to announce that students of the graduating class of 2020 have contributed over 2,700 hours towards community service. Very well done. Fantastic. I would like to thank the faculty who always go the extra mile to make sure that our students get the best quality education and experience. Students, they have not only served as your teachers, but also as your mentors and as friends in times of need. I would also like to thank all the staff of the graduate school who have worked tirelessly throughout to help us all throughout the program, and also the institutional advancement team which worked hard to put this commencement ceremony together. I personally believe that the faculty and staff of the graduate school cannot be thanked enough for all that you do. Continue the great work. Coming back to the students, in the current situation, you would have had to say goodbye to a lot of your friends much quicker than you would have wanted to. You are planning to work in the summer, travel, take MCAT, PCAT, DAT, or do something before you start at the next step of your journey. Now it might not be clear if you all can do all that you wanted to do. The big question is, what next? Some of you know what you're going to do next, and others are preparing for the next journey. We at the graduate school believe that we have prepared you for the numerous and unpredictable challenges that await you. I hope we have done this by imparting in you knowledge, vision, ethics, and confidence. When you leave here, I am sure you will become leaders in your chosen field. And I'm also sure that you will no doubt face problems. At times, you might fail. All of us do, don't we? But what is success without failure? I hope and trust that you feel well prepared and inspired to tackle the problems that lie ahead of you and be successful in all your future endeavors. But be assured that we will persist, prevail, and conquer any difficulty that lies ahead of us. Finally, I would like to let you know that it is the wish of all your mentors here that you will encounter the adventures that lie before you with the same energy and aptitude, with the same steadfast self-confidence, with the same ethical firmness, with the same aspiration and happiness that you have demonstrated during your time here in the graduate school. I cannot express how excited we all are to watch you do great things. Congratulations and thank you. Now, I would like to introduce the members of our platform party, Dr. Richard Lang, President of Texas Tech University Health Sciences Center El Paso and Dean of the Paul L. Foster School of Medicine. Dr. Lang is also the keynote speaker for today's ceremony. Dr. Paul Ogden, Provost and Vice President for Academic Affairs at Texas Tech University Health Sciences Center El Paso. Now I would like to introduce the students and would also invite them. It is my pleasure to invite two students from this graduating class, Ms. Allegra Susan Artis and Mr. Gregory Mark Ruddy, to say a few words about your real experience during the graduate program.
Welcome everyone to the very first virtual graduation. It's truly an honor to be speaking today. First and foremost, I'd like to thank our support system, our moms, dads, husbands, wives, kids, all of our family members that supported us during these very rigorous and stressful 2 years. Stressful because we learned so much and worked very hard in our studies, but also because many of us have been in limbo trying to figure out our next move towards our dream career. Some of us didn't know when we started and maybe still don't know what that dream career is, but I can tell you with 100% certainty that for me, this program changed my life. This program would not be what it is without the dean of our school, our faculty, and staff. I've never experienced an administrator, let alone a dean, care as much as Dr. Raj does. He's our biggest advocate, and getting to be one of his kids, as he calls us, is truly unique. He knows us all by name and truly cares about us not only as his students, but as people. During our ethics class, he prepares us for life in the medical community and made us question absolutely everything. He presented us with all sorts of ethical dilemmas we may face and played devil's advocate in order to ensure we understood all sides of the situation. He always told us the bitter truth, even when it was hard to hear. Most importantly, he did this while giving us hope for the future. For someone like me that hasn't had a straight shot to being a doctor and at times have been unsure of myself in the science community altogether, he has been instrumental in showing me that love and passion, along with hard work, can get you exactly where you need to be. The entire faculty throughout this program has been so caring. I've never experienced having teachers that truly get to know us and always make themselves available, even to talk to us individually. As some of you know, during our second year, every student is matched with a mentor who takes time out of their own research to help us with our projects. After spending hours in the lab, my mentor not only taught me techniques to use in the lab, but gave me advice and assistance on how to navigate research in the scientific community and even in life. The entire faculty and staff found a way to be there for us, from directors to coordinators and everyone in between. Just seeing their smiling faces on our way to class started the day off right. We all know that this isn't the graduation that we had in mind, and yet it seems fitting for our class to be special in some way. You see, every year a new class comes in, wanting to be the favorite, but I guarantee our class is just that. Over the course of the past 2 years, we have spent all of our time together, whether it be in class, volunteering, lab work, or even outside of school. This graduating class has become a family. We have come from all different walks of life. Some of my classmates straight out of undergraduate, some took time off and returned, some are single, some of us are parents, some even found love here. Many of my classmates came in knowing exactly what they wanted to do following graduation, while some are still unsure. But what has united us has been a love of science and a passion for changing the world. In these uncertain times where so much is going on around us, it brings me so much comfort to know that we all will be the dentists, PAs, doctors, and researchers of the future. We will be the ones to change the scientific community for the better. This master's program, I can say with 100% certainty, has changed my life. Each one of you has changed my life. So here's to class of 2020, Dr. Raj's favorite class.
Hey everyone. I'm sure at this point of the semester, some of you are tired of hearing my voice, but stick with me for the next few moments. It's the last time, I promise. There's no way to sugarcoat this. The way our semester came to an abrupt end was very unfortunate. We missed out on our banquet, our research symposium, and our traditional commencement. But knowing this group, let's not forget we are one resilient group. If this had happened to any other group of students, we were the ones that could handle it. Our class has stepped up and overcame the cards we've been dealt by staying focused to our research, grinding through to finish our finals, and of course, completing that extensive research thesis. As graduate students, I know we are tough on ourselves, but let's take a few minutes to digest what is happening. We did it. I'd like to take this opportunity to shed some light on all of our accomplishments over the past 2 years. We have 5 students who are going to continue their education in their chosen field: Deborah Aldretti, Brandon Chin, Haley Cyprit, Victoria Margolis, and Mina Zyla. Congratulations and thank you to Luis Garcia and again Mina Zyla for their dedication to the GSBS in the city of El Paso. These 2 students shattered our volunteering record by giving over 200 hours of their time to our community. And lastly, to Adali Ovelas, a local El Paso student who not only volunteered over 100 hours of her time, acted as the secretary and put up with me in the Graduate School Association, but most importantly, represented TTUHSC on a national level and presented research at the 61st American Society for Hematology annual meeting and exposition in Orlando, Florida. Of course, everyone, I can't forget about you, the class of 2020. As a whole, we combined for over 2,700 hours of volunteering in the community. We have published research in scientific journals, we conquered lab methods, and most importantly, we are now masters. For some of us, this program is our last stop on our academic journey. For others, this was a bridge to the next stop. This program has done more than enough to prepare us to get us to where we want to be in achieving our goals. Knowing all of this, I know you are going to have no problem in achieving this. But if you ever do run into a little self-doubt, extinguish it immediately and call everyone's favorite mentor, Dr. Raj, to regain that confidence and faith that he put in us. To our faculty, you are more than professors and mentors to us. You truly are family. Thank you for all of your knowledge you have passed down to us over these past 2 years. We hope you make you proud going forward. I'm so lucky and grateful to be speaking here to you today as representing the class of 2020. So it's only right that I acknowledge some of the people that have helped me get here. First is Dr. Himanshu Garg and Dr. Anjali Joshi, my lab mentors. We've accomplished a lot in the past 2 years, and it's been a lot of fun. I don't know how I will ever be able to repay you, but when a student comes into my office 10 years down the line from now, I will treat them with the same respect, patience, love, and definitely tough love that you showed me. Thank you so much. To Mr. Joao Ramirez, my landlord, thank you for giving me a shelter over my head during my time in El Paso. You were the one person that made this my new home and make me never want to leave this place. And most importantly, to the 5 most important people in my life: my mother, my father, my stepmother, my brother, and my sister. You've allowed me to grow and become the person I've always dreamed of becoming. Thank you for always supporting my crazy ideas, like getting on a plane in 2017 from New York to move down to El Paso and live in an Airbnb for 3 months to do a summer internship. It forever changed the course of my life, and I know I don't say this enough, but I love you, and thank you for everything you do for me. In closing, to the class of 2020, we have accomplished our current goal. Soak it all in and enjoy it. I'm going to ask you to each do one last thing for me, and I promise I'm going to be quiet. Tell the important people in your lives that you love them, and none of this could have been accomplished without them. I hope to stay in touch with all of you, and I cannot wait to see what the future holds for us. To the class of 2020.
All right, thank you. Those wonderful notes that you had to share with us. So it is my pleasure and honor to invite our keynote speaker, Dr. Lang, to the podium to deliver a speech. He is the president of the Texas Tech University Health Sciences Center and dean of the Paul L. Foster School of Medicine. He has always been a great leader and is doing a phenomenal job leading us through these times of uncertainty and difficulty. I can talk about him for the rest of the day, but without any further ado, Dr. Lang, please.
Thank you, Raj. Thank you, students, as well. That was really heart-touching. It's a privilege to address you today on this momentous event of your graduation and to be addressing Papa Raj's favorite class. I truly regret this is a virtual ceremony. I mean, I wish that I could rather see you in person. I'd rather congratulate you in person. I'd rather address you in person. And I'd rather watch you celebrate with your family and your friends, your colleagues, your professors, and your staff. And I know you'd rather be celebrating an in-person ceremony too. It's an understatement to say that what you have achieved is momentous, and it is life-changing. You know, it's hard enough to stay focused and committed and dedicated to a rigorous curriculum and scientific endeavors when there are no distractions. It's even more remarkable when you consider the environment, kind of the petri dish in which you accomplish this growth. For those of you who started the master's program in the summer of 2018, you witnessed the October 2018 immigration crisis, an unparalleled proportion. In 2019, in August, you witnessed mass casualty crisis that was thrust upon our community. And now in March 2020, the pandemic crisis has affected the world, not only your world, but the entire world around you. El Paso and our community has emerged stronger and more resolved as a result of each of these challenges. Our community has been defined not by the crisis, but how we address the crisis. They reveal us to be a community of compassion and caring and resilience, giving and commitment. And quite frankly, the Graduate School of Biomedical Sciences is a microcosm of the same community. You all have demonstrated compassion for each other in our community. You've demonstrated by giving back to our community over 2,700 hours of volunteer work and by helping each other. Resilience in your commitment and your persistence into adapting to the new changes. Giving to each other, the SGA, the staff, the community, the faculty. And finally, your commitment. A commitment to mastery of the material which has earned you your master's or post-baccalaureate degrees. Now you might ask, what does this have to do with science? Well, Albert Einstein remarked that most people say that it's intellect that makes you a great scientist. They are wrong. It is character. The character of the Graduate School of Biomedical Sciences and each one of you has been on full display for our university and community to see during these crises. And I am proud of each and every one of you. What we experienced together is a present-day, real-life lesson on how to approach the unknown and adversity as a community, as a university, and you as individuals. And what you demonstrated to the community is that success is not the absence of adversity or the absence of failure. Rather, it is the persistence through adversity and failure. You know, I find that stories of real people, are often more instructive and more interesting than a string of words and platitudes. So if you'll indulge me, I'd like to introduce you to 4 real-life individuals. By the way, they all have something in common. So as I describe them, I want you to see if you can pick out their commonality. Individual number 1, name is Michael, and I'll use their real names, by the way. Michael desired to follow in the steps of his father and grandfather, both Baptist preachers in Georgia. However, Michael showed an uncharacteristic lack of interest in grammar and spelling, by the way, a trait he carried throughout his entire life. Furthermore, while attending seminary in Pennsylvania, he earned a C in public speaking during his first and his second terms. This, a pretty inauspicious start for an aspiring preacher. Individual number 2. Peter was born in Northfield, Minnesota, 40 miles south of Minneapolis. Like many Minnesotans, he came from a Viking Norwegian stock, a very stubborn lot. His father was a chemistry professor and a friend of Linus Pauling, who was a guest and a family hero. Now, Peter was an Eagle Scout while in high school, but a school camping trip through Russia brought out a teenage rebellious streak in Peter. When his chemistry grade dropped to a D, he quit high school his senior year. Individual number 3, John. John was born in southern England, where he lived an austere life as a youngster during World War II. In fact, he didn't see the luxuries like a banana or an orange until well after the war. At age 8, he was sent to a local private school, and in an intelligence test, he was asked to draw an orange. So he started drawing the stalk by which the orange would hang from the tree. Reasoning that an orange would not exist by itself, in space. Well, the teacher tore up the piece of paper and reported to his parents that he was mentally subnormal and would need special teaching. So he subsequently changed schools twice, and during his first term of being taught science at a boarding school when he was 15, he received the following report from the biology master, and I will quote directly from this report. Quote, "It has been a disastrous half. His work has been far from satisfactory. His prepared stuff has been badly learnt, and several of his test pieces have been torn over. One of his such pieces of prepared work scored 2 marks out of a possible 50. That's a score of 4, by the way. His other work has been equally bad, and several times he's been in trouble because he will not listen, but he will still insist on doing work his own way. I believe his ideas about becoming a scientist. On his present showing, this is quite ridiculous. If he can't even learn simple biological facts, he would have no chance of doing the work of a specialist, and it would be a sheer waste of time, both on his part and of those who have to teach him. In fact, of the 250 students in his grade, he was number 1 at the bottom, by the way. It was so bad he was banned from any further study of science during high school. For the rest of his schooling, the next 3 years, he received no science teaching, and he was placed in a class that studied ancient Greek, Latin, and a modern language, a course intended for those judged to be, quote, unsuited for studying any subject in depth. Individual number 4, also named Peter, not the same person as previously described, but he obtained his medical degree at St. Bartholomew's Hospital Medical College, and he trained in renal medicine. In 1989, Peter established a laboratory to explore the regulation of erythropoietin, a hormone released by the kidneys and responsible for the stimulation of production of red blood cells. 3 years after he started the lab, he submitted his research findings to Nature. The associate editor of Nature wrote to Peter, informing him of the journal's decision not to publish his study after comments by 2 reviewers panned it. And I quote, "Given the discrepancy mentioned by reviewer 1, we have sadly concluded on balance that your paper would be better placed in a different journal, given the competition for space in our journal." In fact, the reviewers were unable to comprehend the mechanisms of genetic response to hypoxia that Peter has proposed. They concluded that the study was unfit for publication, as the direction of research was something which was beyond their understanding. Now, what did these 4 individuals share in common? Well, obviously failure. An aspiring preacher with only mediocre oratory skills, a high school dropout, an individual banned from science class in high school because of his abysmal performance, and a researcher with incomprehensible study results. I can tell you, had such individuals applied to Texas Tech University Health Sciences Center in El Paso for admission, the likelihood is they would not have been admitted. In fact, it's highly likely they wouldn't even have been interviewed. I mean, could you blame us for not wasting our time on such losers? Well, besides failure, there was one other thing they share in common. All are recent Nobel Prize winners. Now, how they turned failure into success, that's a fascinating read. I don't have time for that right now. But Michael, his real name, who had average oratory skills, became the youngest Nobel Prize winner at age 35 when he won the Peace Prize for his role for his steadfast commitment in achieving racial justice through nonviolent action. You know him by his changed name, Dr. Martin Luther King. In 2003, Peter, the high school dropout, Peter Agre, shared the 2003 Nobel Prize in chemistry for discoveries concerning channels and cell membranes. Agre was recognized for discovery of the aquaporin water channels, described as the essence of life. And there's a student who received a damning report about his dismal science experience. That was John. He subsequently removed the nucleus of a fertilized egg from a frog and replaced it with the nucleus of a cell taken from the tadpole's intestines. This modified egg cell grew into a new frog, proving that the mature cell still contained the genetic information needed to form all types of cell. And in 2012, John Gurdon shared the Nobel Prize for Physiology or Medicine for the discovery that mature cells can be reprogrammed to become pluripotent. And finally, Dr. Peter Ratliff, the scientist with an incomprehensible manuscript, was jointly awarded to the 2019 Nobel Prize in Medicine, along with William Kalin, one of my interns, and Greg Semenza, a fellow professor of mine at Hopkins, for their pioneering research into how human cells respond to changing oxygen levels. These are not distant individuals from a long time ago. Peter Agre, Peter Ratliff, John Gurdon, they're all contemporaries of yours. And Dr. Martin Luther King would have been too had he not died at the hands of an assassin. Their stories are our stories. Well, I'd like to offer 4 brief observations based upon their true stories. First, 1, you, not those around you, determine your success. What you do and how well you do it is not dependent upon what others think about you, but it is dependent upon your commitment, your effort, and your persistence. According to Thomas Edison, genius is 1% inspiration and 99% perspiration. Observation number 2, however difficult life may seem, there is always something you can succeed at. Now, that's from Stephen Hawking, the Cambridge theoretical physicist and mathematician who was diagnosed with early onset ALS. After loss of his ability to speak, he communicated through a speech-generating device, initially through a handheld switch, and then ultimately by using a single cheek muscle. He died in 2018 at the age of 76 after living with the disease for more than 50 years. His book, A Brief History of Time, appeared on the Sunday Times bestseller list for a record-breaking 237 weeks. That's over 4.5 years. And he was a recipient of the Presidential Medal of Freedom, the highest civilian award in the United States. Hawkins was ranked number 25 in the BBC's poll of the 100 greatest Britons. Allow me to repeat what he said. However difficult life may seem, there is always something you can do and succeed at. Observation number 3, the recipe for success is much like a good enchilada. Now, there are core ingredients. Without it, it wouldn't be an enchilada, but the fillings and sauce and the diversity that suit your individual taste make it unique. The key ingredients to success include persistence, patience, commitment, good observation skills, teamwork, a bit of luck, integrity, and failure, and usually a large portion of failure. I truly hope you've acquired these ingredients and seen them modeled by your colleagues and your faculty. They really are the foundations of success. Now, where you find your success, whether in medicine or research, business, dental school, additional educational pursuits, or other endeavors, that's the filling in the sauce that you individually choose. But the key ingredients are the same. These ingredients are the life lessons that will shape you long after this graduation. Your success will ultimately be measured not by what you achieve, but by who you are when you achieve it. And the last observation, you won't really know how things turn out unless you try. I agree with Jeff Bezos, who said, it's not an experiment if you know it's going to work. So, give it a try. Do you remember that guy who gave up? Nope, neither does anybody else. So, please try. So in conclusion, allow me to close by telling you that we, this university, have benefited from you being here. We are a better institution because of your participation. You may have thought this was about you getting your degree, about us giving and you receiving. But it's much more than that. You give of yourselves to us, and we also receive a blessing because of that. We have benefited by the science you performed, the courses you improved, the volunteer work you perform, the encouragement and support you provide, the faculty, the staff, the fellow students, and your joint participation on our journey to excellence. We are honored that you entrusted us with your education and will forever be a Red Raider and a proud member of the Texas Tech University Health Sciences Center El Paso family. Congratulations on your graduation. Whatever you do, wherever you do it, make us proud. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Lang. I think the students should pay attention to everything that he has said because that's going to make you successful. So don't fear any kind of failure. You can overcome it. So at this time, we have a special guest who has graciously agreed to help us recognize those students receiving their post-baccalaureate certificate and master's degree in biomedical sciences.
Hello, I'm Stephanie Valle. I'm one half of the evening anchor team here at ABC 7, and it's my honor to help you and your classmates at the Texas Tech University Health Sciences Center of El Paso usher in this new chapter in your professional lives. Finishing your studies at the Graduate School of Biomedical Sciences, coupled with your innate knowledge of the borderland and your heritage, you're helping shape how our families are treated by the medical community now and in your future practice. That's why you're our future healthcare heroes. Thank you for your dedication and congratulations to you, class of 2020 graduates. So here are the students receiving their post-baccalaureate certificates. Sarah Dang. Chris Ronald Mendoza Factoriza. Jesse Foskey. Oscar Hernandez. Maria Vanessa Jimenez. Bilal Kershid. Neda Kanare. Nikita Sivanyanakumar. Kenneth Smith. Joshua Paul Torres. Here are the students receiving their master's degree in biomedical sciences. Nara Sofia Alcoreza. Deborah Alderete. Allegra Suzanne Artis. Brandon Chin. Jessica Cox. Haley Michelle Seipert. Javier Flores. Sarah Liz Gamboa. Lilia Garcia. Luis Fernando Garcia. Victoria Ashley Margulis. Zoraida Munoz. Idali Maria Olivas. María Rosita Parada. Brian Peinado. Ingemar Alexander Quesada. Cheryl Rodriguez. Gregory Ruddy. Diana Sandoval. Myra Sandoval. Christy Ellen Skeet. Mark Andrew Smith. Mina Zille.
Dr. Lang.
Well, Raj, this is the moment I guess everybody's been waiting for. That is, let us now proceed with the conferring of degrees. Now, degrees are awarded to those who have successfully completed all the requirements established by Texas Tech University Health Sciences Center El Paso and the faculty. Faculty has recommended the candidates of the Graduate School of Biomedical Sciences for conferring of their respective degree. By virtue of the authority invested in me by the Board of Regents of the Texas Tech University system, I confer upon each of you the degree for which the Dean of the Graduate School of Biomedical Sciences has recommended you. Congratulations. We're all proud of you. Now, to the class of 2020, I would like to thank our faculty and the staff for their dedication in preparing this new team of graduates for whatever challenges lie before them. And as you leave Texas Tech University, I charge each of you to do the following. 1, be dedicated to your profession, institution, and your peers. Never, ever compromise your integrity or the character of your friends, colleagues, and professors who have stood behind you. Also, be diligent in being a lifelong learner. The degree that is conferred on you today is not the end of your education, it's the beginning. Next, be dissatisfied with anything other than your very best. The world is filled with people that are satisfied with mediocrity. You be different. Don't ever satisfy for anything other than your very best. And lastly, be daring. Don't just dream of doing something big and audacious, but as Nike would say, just do it. We are proud of you. We're proud of what you've accomplished. You are our greatest measure of success. I have every confidence that you will be our greatest asset in the years to come. Best wishes to you all. And now, one thing remains before we part. Thank you to the family and friends who have supported you and encouraged you all along the way in your efforts to gain an education. I would like to thank each of you for celebrating this achievement in our students' lives. This concludes our ceremony.
So one shout out, congratulations, graduates, my dear graduates. We are so proud of you and your accomplishments and looking forward to bigger ones in the near future. I'd like to conclude all of these ceremonies by saying this. You know that you are a part of our families, and we believe so are we. So come back and see us. Remember, if you don't, you know it. I will find you. Congratulations and all the best. Thank you.